We are 48 schools across 14 cities, but together we are one Shawnee Mission, and we are all in.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Shawnee Mission Mic'd Up. I am your proud host, Superintendent of Schools, Mike Schumacher.
Yeah, glad to be here. Your co-host, Brittany Gonzer.
Yeah, this is episode 9. It's hard to believe that we're zipping through these, but having a great time.
Yeah, and we're in another fun location. Can't wait to share more with everybody here coming up.
Yeah, we, of course, have some amazing guests with us that you can see. We'll introduce them in a second, but we, as always, want to recap our last episode.
We had a lot of fun last go-around.
We really did. We were on site over at Shawnee Mission North High School. We, of course, have multiple music festivals across the district. We highlighted that one really because of our calendars. That one fit with us.
Worked out nicely.
As always, we want to talk about some of the great things that happened in that episode and encourage people to go back and take a look at it. For me, I'll go ahead and start off. Sage was just so great. She was such a great representative, not only North, but all of our kids. And when she was talking about her experience singing with her brother at the pop show, and she was just beaming with pride and really sold the great things that are happening with that music festival. Yeah,
I kind of feel like I missed out. I was like, I didn't do that when I was in high school. And man, that was quite the experience she had. So
yeah. Absolutely. How about you? What were some of the highlights for you?
You know, I feel like we learned a lot in that process. Dr. Thomas shared so much with us about the music industry and production industry that I really wasn't even familiar with. I think he had a statistic he shared with it being like the third largest producing industry. And I had really never thought through all the different roles that go into that, all the hands that it takes. That was pretty cool to just think about and hear from his perspective and really think about how we are preparing our kids for this huge industry and what a tremendous opportunity it is. So it was just cool to have a new way to think about that.
I was the same. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I had never really thought through that, but as he was explaining it, there's clearly so many different pieces that touch the music industry, and there's so many different ways to get involved. And again, a couple other things. You know, we always want kids to find their place in our schools and to find their people. And, you know, those performing arts programs certainly do that, bring in that sense of belonging, and they feel that sense of community there. And so it's so great that we have such a commitment to performing arts. Yeah,
and to know what a great industry that is, it really just makes you feel like, we've got to prepare our students for those jobs as well. It was a great learning opportunity.
And maybe a chance to shout out our team here too. Jordan, did an amazing job of packaging that. Yep. And it looked a little bit different. We had the music at the beginning, we had our typical thing, and then the concert at the end. Yep. And a shout out to that concert. It was a packed house.
Amazing, yes.
Great stuff happening.
Thank you to our community for always coming out and supporting and being a part. It's not the same if there's not the audience there with you. So it's always great to see everybody show up for those. And I hope people get out and enjoy a show or a concert. Just so many things that our performing arts department puts on that you don't even realize are there. So we do have a calendar linked on our website, right?
I was going to say it, but nice job. Yeah, we do have that calendar. Dr. Thomas mentioned that they keep that updated. So that's a great way. If you're interested in seeing some of our kids perform, go to that calendar or on SMSD.org, and you can see some opportunities that are there.
Yeah, definitely go check some of those out.
Yeah. So ready to transition to this episode?
Yes, very ready for this one. It's got me feeling kind of festive. I love it.
Absolutely. Why don't you take a chance and introduce our guests or have them introduce themselves?
All right. Yeah, absolutely. So we are here at the Broadmoor Bistro at the Center for Academic Achievement, in case you're not recognizing the set behind us here. And I will let each of you just introduce yourselves, your name, and your role. So we'll start with you.
Sure. My name is Chef Justin Hoffman, culinary arts educator. Been with the program now for 14 years and also an alumni of the program.
Super cool.
Yeah.
All right, my name is Finley Jewel, and I am a third-year culinary student at the Broadmoor Bistro.
And what home high school are you from?
I'm from Shawnee Mission South.
Okay, you've been highly successful in this program, and we want to talk a little bit more about that. But I'm going to throw it to Chef Justin. Mm-hmm. You've been involved with this program for a long time. It's an amazing program. Give us a little bit of history of how it's grown, where it started. Chef Bob, maybe call out him. Yeah.
Chef Bob was kind of the founder of this program. Started back in, I believe, 2001 when he came on board at the old Broadmoor Technical Center location at 83rd and Metcalf. It was kind of a home ec class at that point, really. But he was really focusing on culinary arts and commercial baking. And it was around that time that I met him, and I enrolled in the program in 2003. That was the second year that the program had been around. And really kind of did some fun stuff, but learned how to cook, and we did a dinner once a month for our friends and family, sort of in a traditional FACS classroom. I left, obviously graduated and went on to culinary school, but the program evolved. They grew, and they started doing dinners in, I believe, the cafeteria at that point. We started at 30 or 40, and then we're doing 100, 150. Wow. Which is a big transition. Yeah. That sort of proved the success of what he was doing. And then in 2007, the district got a grant from Senator Weissong, and that's when they built the original Broadmoor Bistro, which was the 115, 120 seat restaurant at the old location. Okay. So classroom, cafeteria, back to then a built restaurant. And that's where I was kind of then coming back into Kansas City. Bob was like, hey, you really need to come teach. I was like, I don't think so, but ultimately, it was a great decision for me. You're right. I've been here 14 years now, and now we saw the transition from that location to where we are currently today, with the Center of Academic Achievement. And very fortunate that Bob brought me on and coached me as a student, as a mentor, but then also brought me on as a young educator. Sure. I was 24 at the time when I started teaching, and really has kind of taken me under his wing. Yeah. Thankful that the district allowed us to be a part of this build out here when we moved over to this facility. Really listened to sort of our thoughts on what we needed as a program, and we continue to grow to this day.
It's growing every year, right?
Absolutely.
And as we can hear back here, it's an operating kitchen.
Yeah, for sure.
People are dropping stuff and
they
cooking.
Are busy.
They're busy doing their.
Yes.
And we're going to get to why they're so busy. But Finley, talk to us about your experience in the program. Like when you came into it, what you were thinking about doing when you came into it, maybe where you're at now.
Yeah. So I believe my 8th grade year, we do a tour through the Center of Academic Achievement, and I believe the whole building. And I remember walking through and being like, wow, this is larger than I expected and nicer than I expected. And then freshmen actually can't enroll in the class, but as soon as my sophomore year came, I enrolled. That was my Culinary 1 class, which you kind of just go through the fundamentals. You learn the basics, all the mother sauces, soups, all that good deal. And then I enrolled in the restaurant class, which is Tuesday and Wednesday. We do prep on Tuesdays, and then we have a full dinner service in this dining room every Wednesday. We do guest chefs about 5 a year, I believe, which those were always super fun, and you learn a lot, and you get to see the way that different chefs work. And then I had the opportunity to go through SkillsUSA, which at the time I was like, well, do I want to do this? I don't know, whatever. And so I did it, and, we practiced for state, which then it became like real, it wasn't just like a small little thing. So then we practiced for state. You do a 3-course meal, you do an appetizer, soup, and an entree. And I believe that was March of 2023. I took first place there, and then it became really real. It wasn't just like a in-state, kind of deal. It became really real. Like, we're going on halfway across the country to go compete to try to win a national champion. Yeah. And so we practiced 3 times a week for probably around 3 to 4 months. So it was a lot of dedication. It was a lot of work, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without Justin's mentorship and his help. And we went to Atlanta, I believe the 3rd week of June, competed there, which that was a 4-course meal, an appetizer, a soup, a sauteed entree, and a braised entree. And then I took first place there, which then obviously I was rewarded the full ride scholarship to the CIA, which then led me into my 2nd year here, which is where you get more into fun regional foods. You kind of go around the world and learn all of their cuisines. And then my 3rd year now, which is super fun.
So she kind of buried the lead, Dr. Gunn.
Wow.
She's a national champion and has a full ride to the CIA.
Correct.
That's amazing.
Culinary Institute of America, right?
Culinary Institute of America, yeah.
Yeah. That's unreal. Wow. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot I can learn from you, I'm fairly certain. So
very excited.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you've had an incredible experience thus far. You both have spoken to this facility and just all that it has brought to the program. Can you guys tell us a little bit more? I don't know that everybody, one, has even been in this space, but even knows some of the other spaces here that support it, right? There's the farm and even some of our science classes as well. Can you talk a little bit more about your experiences and interactions and kind of how those overlap too?
I think what was really awesome when we came to this location was then all of the signature programs were sort of back in one location.
Yeah.
And it really sort of fosters that idea of that cross-curriculum work. When we came over here and with that sort of third expansion, we had the Broadmoor Bistro sort of as the umbrella. Now we have Broadmoor Bistro, which is the restaurant. We have the Broadmoor Bakery, which is our coffee shop and cafe that we run. Catered by Broadmoor Bistro, which is a full on-premise, off-premise catering company, and the Broadmoor Urban Farm, which is at this location. That started with Chef Bob and I at the other location as a quarter acre, and now we have a little over an acre and a half, I believe, 1.7.
It's incredible, yeah.
And at this point now, that's even grown into its own class. So now it has its own instructor, and they are managing the farm with students. And so then not only do they get that agricultural experience, we get to use fresh produce. We get to highlight in the restaurant. We get to show kids and students, what a real carrot looks like coming out of the ground. They don't, not the little baby carrots in the back, right? So, but then it's also leading into some entrepreneurial education too. So the farming students are selling produce to local restaurants, to community members, as well as us. So it really highlights the idea of education being hands-on and real world. Because now they're taking that into an entrepreneur situation where they can take the education and learn how to make money.
It's incredible, yeah. So neat to see all those ways that our community can connect with all of those different things, from the produce sales to just seeing people come in and get coffee in the mornings and whatnot. That's really neat.
Doug Moles, who runs the farm, they do a farmer's market here at this location on Saturdays, so fresh produce. Obviously the restaurant on Wednesday nights, you can come and dine. Coffee shop Monday through Friday, 8 to noon, and then all the catering needs.
I'm a connoisseur of all of those things, and I can speak highly to all of them.
Great, thank you.
Finley, so have you gotten to partake in any of those programs or seen how those interact or work together? Have you experienced any of that yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So last year I was enrolled in the Plain Soil Science class, which last year was the first year that it was a class that you could take. And I was also in culinary too as well. So I was doing back-to-back going from the farm to here. And there was a lot of moments which I'm also enrolled in the restaurant class, where, I knew that we didn't have time inside, but Moles had a big thing of time, and I would come inside and cut a little bit, and I'd be like, guys, we have time, don't worry, Or when we had carrots or whatever, I'd know that there was carrots out in the farm if we were ever running low or anything like that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, we also highlighted last year, we did a lot of microgreens out in the farm, and obviously we like to use a lot of microgreens on our plates, make it a little more vibrant, a little more green, and we used to, I believe we actually still currently do it, but we would harvest the microgreens from out in the farm and put them on our plates for Wednesday nights.
That's so great.
I'm learning so many new terms already today, Mike. I don't know about you.
I did watch The Bear, so I do feel like I'm kind of an expert. But, that's to be debated. So I think we've talked a lot about, these different experiences that we're providing kids, and maybe skipping over this next section a little bit.
Sure.
But clearly, Justin, kids are being given this experience from farm to table, all aspects of the industry. Maybe talk about what are some of the outcomes you're hoping the kids will take out of this, whether they go to the Culinary Institute of America or they don't. They have nothing to do with the industry as they leave.
Now that I've been here for a few years, I think our idea of what the outcome for students when I started compared to what it is now has changed completely. But I think that's also been in stride with our industry. I feel like when I first started, we were really focused on, we really want to make sure our students can go into a restaurant and get a job on the line and be a line cook, or in a hotel, right? I mean, that was really kind of our focus at that time. Get you career ready so you can go get a job. Now I feel like our responsibility for our students is the exposure to all the opportunities in the industry. The farming, the catering, barista training, We're working with Dr. Fry on food writing and journalism and cookbook creations and a variety of things that our industry sort of encompasses. That is not just really, I want to go work in a restaurant. And I think that's a huge part of our responsibility as chefs too. Because if students come to our program and they really just want to learn how to cook, if I can teach somebody how to cook for themselves or for their family, I think that's a huge life skill that is maybe missing right now. And I think that's just as important. So we have a lot of students that do come to us that really love this industry and want to go on. And that may be into the industry to work, or that may be post-secondary. And I think sort of our classes now are split equally. Some come to us because they just want to learn how to cook and it's fun. Some come to us because they want to continue on and go to education. And some come to us because they're really ready, itching to get in the industry and sort of dive into it. And I think all of those are great opportunities, right? There's no one path set for anybody.
Agreed.
And I think that mentality has changed. And I think it's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I know we want to jump into everything but the turkey.
Yes,
but Jewel, Finley, we want to talk with you. Sorry. Finley, we want to talk with you about, what you think you might be doing after high school and, you're going to the CIA. I mean, where do you see yourself, after college?
So I know for sure I'm going to the CIA. That'll be in September of 2025. As of right now, I'm committed there for a culinary arts degree with applied food studies, which is a little, because they do tri-semesters, it's a little under 4 years, I believe. I know that I want to travel. I know that I want to work with a lot of different chefs and see the way that a lot of different people work. I don't have a set plan for what exactly I want to do after college. I know that I will end up figuring it out.
You'd be great.
But as of right now, I don't want to go in with set plans and then,
Yeah, enjoy the ride,
just
right?
enjoy
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, good for
sure.
you. That's great.
Yeah.
So let's get to this program.
Yeah, is it okay to say let's talk turkey? Is that too much? Too far?
Can we talk
I think it's
everything
good.
but the
You were
turkey?
waiting for that. You were waiting for 17 minutes to say that.
I wasn't really, but the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, actually, I think we should go for
Timing was great. You got it.
it. No, really, it is the reason why we're here today. So we have to share this with our community and kind of get the word out there, but just the story behind it is so incredible. Tell us, how did this start?
Well, pie.
Always a good place to start.
It started with pie.
This famous pie.
When I was in this program as a student, Chef Bob, who was my teacher and really life mentor for quite a long time, even still, I still call him for advice. But
Love that.
he encouraged me to apply for an apple pie recipe contest. I was in the baking class at that time, and I was like, well, why not? The CIA offered it, and he helped me before school, after school, during school. We worked on about 30 different recipes at that time. We settled on this one, which is butterscotch praline streusel apple pie.
Wow.
How can you go wrong with
It's a
that?
lot. There's a lot going on there, right?
Yes.
Ultimately, I won that recipe contest thanks to all the effort that he helped and the work that we put in. I have a poster back there of a printout of like the Sun magazine, I think, wrote an article on me back in the day. But
No big deal.
nah, no big deal. So then after my friends and family found out I won this recipe contest, they're like, I want to buy a pie for Thanksgiving. I was like, okay, sure. I think I sold about 15 pies, and then kind of took off a little bit more than that. I was trying to raise some money so I could go on spring break as a senior in high school.
Nice.
Good motivation.
Ended up selling 70 pies for Christmas.
Wow.
That's a lot of pie.
And I really didn't know how I was going to take that on. Thankfully, I had a lot of neighbors that allowed me to use their kitchens, their ovens, and I had 6 or 7 houses sort of in the neighborhood that I was going house to house to house with pies in the oven.
Wow.
At the same
envisioning
time,
this in my head.
Yeah.
That's.
I had my mom in the kitchen with like an apple peeler and a big bucket just peeling apples, and it really kind of took off.
That's incredible. Wow.
Bob was like, hey, man, I think we should maybe start selling some pies for the school and see if we can't raise some money. And I said, okay, well, let's do it. I left and I went off to school, and then when I came back and started working with him, we really sort of revamped the idea of what this pie sale was going to be. And that's when we coined the everything but the turkey, because we added more than just pie. So now it's pie, sides, breakfast items.
It's everything, right?
Everything
Like
you could need,
and then some.
except for the turkey. But I think we're waiting for, I don't know, maybe an outdoor kitchen to start doing some smoked turkeys or something for Thanksgiving. So
that'll draw people in.
And then we'll have to have theturkey.com, I guess. Yeah. We'll have 2 websites. But
you heard it here first. Yeah.
And so it's an opportunity for us to engage with our community, obviously, but then raise money for students like Finley who want to come in and engage in all the other opportunities that this program provides, maybe outside of the classroom. And we've been very successful. Going on 14, 15 years of sort of the coined everything but the turkey. And every year for the last, I believe, 7, we have raised more money. We've beaten our goal. So our goal this year is 30,000. Last year we did 27.5. And we are on track to beat 30 this year.
Wow, that's amazing. So they're truly all in with this, right?
Yeah.
So Finley, talk to us about the student's role in this everything but the turkey. So you've done it for 3. Now it's your
my third year.
Yeah. So what does it look like from a student perspective? I mean, the work hours, how much work goes into this? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So our culinary 1 students and culinary 2 students will, during the week before Thanksgiving, do all the prep. We'll do all the stuff that we need to do to successfully execute this production. So during the day, we have 2 culinary 1 classes come in, and they're actually working behind us right now on everything but the turkey. But we get all of our stuff together, and then by the end of the week, production kind of starts. We start putting stickers on all the packaging, all the instructions for cooking it, and once we get everything kind of ready, the week of Thanksgiving, that Tuesday and Wednesday, is more of like packaging orders. And this person ordered 17 gravies. Well, we got to package the gravies.
That's a lot of gravy. Wow.
And then right out here out front of the CEA, cars line up, and each student will grab a bag, and we've got like 4 people outside with walkie-talkies. It's professional, actually.
I feel like we need like a
nice
PSA.
job.
Like if you are driving within a 3-mile radius those days, you should be aware. Like
yes,
it's like a parade around here.
I remember last year there was a line all the way up almost to Millburn Country Club last year. So
you've mentioned all the food being prepared. Like, how much food are we talking about here? Like, give us some insights. Like,
you would know correct numbers, but
it's a whole lot. We will sell about 2,500 dinner rolls, about 60 gallons of gravy.
Oh my goodness.
200 apple pies, 100 pecan pies, 100 pumpkin pies. We do about 150 breakfast casseroles, 150 macaroni and cheeses. We got some serious numbers.
Yeah. No wonder they're so busy back there. They're moving fast. So
we did. Now is sort of the prep and production, like Finley was saying. So we're making our way through about 200 pounds of diced onions, about 100 pounds of diced celery for stuffing. We're hand tearing bread. We're roasting bones for stock. So
wow,
it's a full production for sure.
I mean, this is real top-notch level food. I mean, this isn't stovetop.
No,
we're preparing.
Everything's 100% made from scratch.
Unbelievable.
Yep, 100% scratch.
Yeah. And so the students who are working in this, I mean, are they all on the line? Are they getting to do different roles of?
So every day they're getting a different task, and so they have the ability to sort of direct sort of what they are interested in. Yesterday, everybody was cutting onions, right? I mean, that was just the job.
Yeah.
I was in there with them, right? So I was in there with them. But I mean, they all get the opportunity. We're doing knife cuts. They're helping gravy. They're helping package. They're pouring. I mean, it's all of it. But then we have so we have 100 pounds of macaroni and cheese that we're panning up. We all need to taste it to make sure it tastes good.
Well,
right?
sure.
So
that's part of the deal.
Lots of opportunity for taste testing too.
That's great. Finley, what's your favorite part of this production? Do you have a favorite task?
My favorite task is probably the 2 days of pickup, because this entire dining room is just filled of like all of the dry goods kind of stuff. All of our 2 giant walk-ins are just full of all of the stuff organized, and it's like pretty much the entire staff is out here, you need to go here, this needs to go there. It's fun. It's a little hectic, but I think that's my favorite part, is when we're all working as a team trying to get everything out the door for people to have a good Thanksgiving.
So after you've done it for 10 days, Thursday, are you have any interest at all in Thanksgiving food?
Nope.
None? Okay.
Not even a little. I don't even want to smell it. Nope. I'll sit outside while my family cooks.
Got it. Chef, you have interest in Thanksgiving after all this?
Well, I still owe my mom for peeling all those apples.
There you go.
So she likes the traditional Thanksgiving. And so Wednesday night after I get done here, we go home, we're tearing more bread and making more stuffing.
Oh my goodness.
But then I've talked her out of that for Christmas time. So now we do a fish fry for Christmas.
Okay.
So
Hey, there you go.
I can't have it twice.
Yep.
So I just got to ask, you both mentioned that this is a fundraiser, right? It benefits the program. Can you tell all of our listeners a little bit about, how these funds are used? What is the fundraiser going toward? What are the opportunities it provides for our students?
The money goes directly back to the students of this program. And the opportunities are travel, competition, and an opportunity to raise scholarship money for themselves.
Okay.
And that's really where these funds go the most.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, very good. So this is dropping on Thursday of this. What's that going to be? The 21st? 22nd, thank you. So people can still order up until
Monday evening.
Okay.
As long as we haven't sold out.
Right.
So I would
there is
say
a limit.
do not wait.
Okay,
Sooner
so
the
do not
better.
wait.
Yep.
So we
My
mentioned,
order's already in there. Just so
Yes,
you know.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
so we gave you a little advertisement on the last podcast,
Yep.
and people, when they listen to this on the 22nd, they'll still have a couple more days
Yes.
to get online and order. Great stuff, guys.
Thank you.
Any quick last minute things you want to say, Finley, about the program at all, about this? Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us. This was fun talking about my experience here. Go get your everything but the turkey items. Have a great Thanksgiving.
I love that. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't forget that we're open on Wednesday nights in the Bistro to come have dinner. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So as we're wrapping up, thanks to you guys. Amazing job. Thanks to this program and everything that it does for our kids. As a reminder, new episodes are going to drop every other week on Thursdays, except for this one. It's going to be a little bit different, of course. You can check those past episodes on smsd.org, and please send us feedback as we want to give you what you want out there. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks
So-
for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
Our pleasure, absolutely, yeah. So we're gonna try something fun and kind of new next time around. Dr. Schumacher, you wanna give everybody a little preview, if you can, of where we're going with this next?
So we had this idea of carpool karaoke.
Right. We were totally game for it.
Totally game for. And so we don't know what it's going to look like, everyone. You're going to have to tune in, but it's going to be around caroling. Maybe we'll do some visits to schools. Maybe
Shout outs incorporated in
shout
here.
outs, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still in production, but there's going to be some silliness. There's going to be some singing. There's going to be some caroling. Just a chance to have some fun as we wrap up this semester.
Yeah, we can't promise much, but we can promise singing,
Yep.
festivities.
Crazy sweaters.
I think there's going to have to be some props / costumes involved. So, I mean, even though I don't really know that we have a name for this yet, just based on that, I feel like you're going to want to tune in.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Right. So everyone, please enjoy Thanksgiving. It's going to be great.
Yes.
But as we wrap up, we have to say some thanks.
Yes,
Yeah.
we need to thank, of course, our fantastic communications team who always helps make this possible. Thank you so much, as well as McKenna Campbell, our music tech student at Shawnee Mission East, for the music provided for our podcast.
Yeah. And the featured photo of the week, as
Yeah.
we're putting that up, we had a great turnout to everyone around Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. Some North students were given the opportunity to actually go to that event. I was as well as David Smith. A wonderful event, but we had a ton of kids actually doing the walk to school. A lot of schools really celebrating that and embracing that walk to school day.
Yeah, the leadership from our YES students as well that went into that. Very cool to see how different buildings took part in that.
Amazing celebration of just a heroic woman in American history. So
No doubt.
shout out to her and shout out to Caitlin and those North students. Anything else as we wrap up?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Go eat some turkey and definitely come by here.
Come by here. Thanks for joining us. Remember, we are One Shawnee Mission, and we are all in.